Fair use, fair use.
Vote to pass the
Fair use, fair use. I'm not profiting off of this. I'm just going to line some stuff to with the scriptures.
GOP funding bill to end the government shutdown.
Democrats are in the middle of a civil war, and they should just open the government.
As the U.S. government shutdown approaches record length, some Democrats argue President Trump and Republicans are intentionally withholding food benefits for political reasons.
All Republicans care about is the opinion of one man, the puppet master of the Republican Party, Donald J. Trump. They don't care about anything else. How else can you explain the fact that they are weaponizing hunger?
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
That might not have been what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to read the title. It says, Trump administration to fund SNAP during shutdown after court order. See who gets benefits. So that was one day ago. Now, fair use again. Not profiting off of this. Just going to line up some stuff with the scriptures.
Now back to our breaking news. President Trump is causing new confusion with regards to the federal government paying SNAP benefits. The president just posted on Truth Social that SNAP benefits will only be given when the government shutdown ends. That comes one day after the USDA said it would tap into $4.6 billion from its contingency fund to partially cover November benefits. Two judges ruled that the government has to fund SNAP for the more than 40 million Americans who rely on the food assistance program. We've reached out to the USDA for clarification about the president's statements. We're still waiting to hear back. Now back to our breaking news. President Trump.
And then the last article says, you see, like, all the confusion says partial SNAP payments coming soon, but they just said that he said what he said. And then it says, a defiant Trump files no SNAP payments until Democrats cave on shutdown. So, I got a quick scripture. It's the book of, book of James chapter 1, point is verse 8. And it reads, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to called Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem honors to the elders, to the apostles, and learned this truth from. Peace and salutation to the Akim, across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say Shalom. Brother Yahweh Scott, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Yahweh meaning He is, He exists, or He to be. Ba'ashem, Ba'as in, Haz, the Shem, His name. Yahushua meaning He saves, or He delivered. True names of the Most High God and His Son. People ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, whose true name in the Pale Hebrew is Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua. This lesson is inspired by well, you know, those articles, those videos rather. But yeah, you know, and it's funny because he talking about he don't really much feel like a king, but he's literally declaring that he the king right before everybody's eyes. And you know, all this you know, confusion is being brought about, you know, them saying one thing then saying another, is in order to frustrate and rouse up the people. You know what I mean? You know, you actually do got situations where people are crashing up. You know, I've seen a multitude of videos. I seen a video where they ran into the store. It's like, you know, like how they was doing during the lockdowns when they was having the Black Lives Matter protests and shit like that. How you would have a group of people that just ransacked a store. wow. These children are really weird. Oh my God, that's crazy. So Lakia, anyhow, one thing is another. But yeah, so so we and call Lloyd like y'all about you shot because again, I said, I heard a few brothers say it, but I was one of those brothers in the spirit of, keep Babylon shut down, you know what I mean? Keep it locked down. These kids will really just throw you all the way the fuck off. Like, I mean, like, I don't get it. That's the Lord testing me and tempting me through these children. But anyhow, I just wanted to do something real quick because of the fact, like I said again, it's showing you the times we're in, and it's showing you again that man is that cruel Lord, because he know again. He know what kind of response he's going to get out of the people because the people are already tired. And, scriptures talk about Judah being that old lion, who shall rouse him up. Now, the thing is, it's more so them Edomites. Like, the videos I was seeing was more so Esau, You had a few videos where you got Jake in the hood and they trying to, run out the store with, some chips and shit like that, but you got videos with whole Edomites walking out the store with carts full of shit, So, again, they creating the chaos in order to get the desired result that they want, which is, pandemonium. They want lawlessness. They want disorder in order to bring in the order that they want to bring in. Which is that martial law. So, Lucky, I'm trying to do several things at once, you know what I mean? They say, we know in Babylon the Great, you ain't never really done. You always got something going on. Brothers that's in the truth that know what I'm talking about, But, so, come out with some of these scriptures. The book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 2. And again, all he has done is solidify the fact that he is that cruel Lord. You know what I mean? He letting these people really realize and see him for who he is. The king of Babylon, you know what I mean? Just like the elders pretty much made known. He gotta, this gotta be it, Look at the state of Babylon the Great. You can't tell me that you could see another 3 or 4 years of this place. It's not thriving now. You know what I mean? That's why the gold is at the all-time high. Because the currency is weak. You know what I mean? People are not trusting in it. Got all these tensions in the air. These people then declare a war on everything. Not only against Venezuela, but out here they declare war on Mexico. So, it's like a dead repeat. And it's showing you, like the prophecies say, about how these other countries going to band together and shoot missiles on this horde. Because pretty much we seeing who the problem of the earth. So, that's clearly being manifested in your mind. Again, they're no longer the Department of Defense, but the Department of War. And they're making war not only against the saints, but against the world. So eventually these people going to recognize, oh, these people are the problem. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 2. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. Or when the wicked are in power, they groan. So when I'll reread it in the KJV. Proverbs 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that's why you're seeing wickedness at an all-time high, because it talks about as the judge of the city is, so are the people. So if the wicked are in rulership, of course, Solomon had to pay for the sins of Israel because he had Israel going off when he was going off. You know what I mean? When he was worshiping the idols of of his heathenistic wives, and when he was practicing the left hand arts. Because again, it's a reason for them having because they was trying to say that Solomon had a magical ring. I remember the elders speaking on it before. He was the wisest man at his time. You know what I mean? Knowing both good and evil. You know what I'm saying? And he went off. You know what I mean? And pretty much that's why he had to come back as Yahweh Shai, because he had the whole nation going off when he had them worshiping the idols, But, and it's funny declaring the wickedness. Wickedness is being just openly declared, because I was looking at, it's funny too, because I had out the blue just start talking about Mayweather, and then the elder did the video showing Mayweather bowing down to those Amalekites, you know what I mean? I don't even know why I went into boxing, but I just went into boxing, and then that same day the elder like, oh yeah, they got him. But they've been had him, you know what I mean? But the thing is, what I'm noticing, a lot of people are pretty much openly showing you they devotion to the left-hand side. It's blatantly in your face. Like that dude, Blueface, y'all boy. Like literally, he talking about some secret society shit. He said, yeah, I'm gonna go dark. And the only way you're going to be able to keep up with me is if you're part of the secret society. He talking about black and white, and he a Dalmatian, all this little weird little shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, they openly doing this shit in your face. And then the funniest part is, like he proud and thinking he flexing because he about to get back to the bag. But you about to be miserable because you was miserable when you was fucking with the broad before. It's not an accomplishment to be able to manipulate an airhead. That bitch is stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's like Jake told me, you get more fun out of it, or it's more enjoyable, if you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to use that as an example, but the point being is he got them two women, and both them women, this ain't the kingdom, so they basically don't like each other. So they be getting into it. It's drama. This nigga, you know what I mean? He a chaos demon. Like you said, the chaos demons, these niggas, you know what I'm saying? But all that, you know what I mean? Like these niggas, and these niggas gonna sell themselves for less. You know what I mean? You got individuals like Charles and White that actually, in his mind, think he doing a good thing. But if you've ever seen, this nigga worship money. I'm talking about, I've seen him show up at black college campuses and literally, because they didn't want to pay him, he'll leave. Fuck y'all. So that nigga don't care about y'all. He care about the greenback. This nigga utterly promotes Esau. He was even saying that. He's like, fuck these this historically black colleges. He said, I went to a white college. That's what he said. You think a nigga like Charles and White give a fuck about you? Woody even said that. But then yet still, they both would sit up there and hook up and try to make some money. Just like the elder was going into these churches that's called themselves telling the people the truth, but literally is doing it for filthy lucre's sake. You don't think the Lord see all that? Scripture's talking about the Lord is going to make an account, for all the wickedness. I got so much going on. These kids hap doing this shit all the fucking Tired of telling. This shit is crazy, man. Chips all over here. Why the chips? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, I ain't never seen no shit like this in my life. Salakia. Just looking at shit like, why is this all the way back here? You know what I mean? Salakia. Trying to do several things at once. Yeah, so again, we live in unprecedented times, you know what I mean? We living in times where, like I said again, what's that scripture talk about? They declare their sin at Sodom. You know, you motherfuckers is not shamefaced about nothing they doing. Told you, I was doing a video about a rapper from Philly. This nigga called FS the Bender. Then he gonna use some excuse talking about he used to watch Avatar. You know what I mean? So like an airbender. But then he also made a lyric about how they rape men. So is that really why he called himself the Bender? You can't believe nothing in Babylon the Great. I was fascinated by that whole Blueface thing. Because again, before he went to jail, you can see he was miserable dealing with that bitch. Like I said, that's not a flex. You know what I mean? You dealing with this nasty ass bitch that sit up there and fucking all these dudes, basically a crackhead. That's what that broad call her, a crackhead, because your baby fucked up based on, they probably was watching her get high while she pregnant. Type shit like that. You know what I mean? Just a straight fucking demon. But because, you know, and the funniest part is to show you the nature of a female, she was just with a whole nother dude. But right before he come home, she was just talking about literally going back to Baltimore. She was like, a whole bunch of demons is around her and yada, yada, yada. And she said she was going back to Baltimore. She switched her probation to go back to Baltimore. This nigga get out and now this bitch is just in love. And I said, that show you the power of you know, there's a song by Jay-Z. I think it was about, I think it was Jay-Z was featured on it. But the power of the P-U-S-S-Y. You know, that's why the niggas get their haircut, try to dress fly, you know. But, you know, like Jake used to tell me, my wood better than, you know what I mean? Like the power of the, you know, that phallus for real. Because like I said, again, this bitch act like, I mean, if you go watch that shit for real, you'll be like, man, these hoes stupid. And I already know that. I mean, the only time a woman will use some sense is if she got a wise man or she had a wise father or the man that she's married to, it got some wisdom, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you know what I mean? This is a sad, fucked up case. But again, you know, Salaki for going on talking. Like I said, again, it's so much little crazy shit going on. Like, you really think those people like that is concerned about EBT? You know what I mean? A nigga's not concerned about EBT until he can't use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to want to stay relevant, to have to deal with that demonic bitch, because he gotta lie to both of them talking about I love you when he really, you know what I mean, using these hoes. Like he more so her handler. But she's a chaos demon. I'm talking about like this bitch, if you ever watch that, and that's what they about to do, part 2. They about to start another little show with her and him doing drama. I mean, you knew he had the bitch. The bitch put his face on her. You know what I mean? But again, that's not a flex. Didn't they say that she was fucking Cardi B husband or ex-husband? She was like she a slut. You know what I'm saying? But that's what this place prides itself on. People think, oh yeah, that's what's up. You know what I mean? Scriptures talk about having a modest woman. These motherfuckers, like the situation with Kanye. Yeah, that ain't no flex that you had this woman that had everybody else. Like, the fuck? People funny, man. You know what I mean? Like, now I remember Jake saying something about, you know, Jake's first time. It shouldn't be with a lady of the night or a prostitute because, that'll give you a certain mindset. You know what I mean? But when you come to the realization of it, like Jake ain't really seen it yet. I'm not saying it's not no righteous women, because I'm sure it is. You know what I mean? Because you got women and men that believe. We trying to do the right thing, and I'm sure you got the hopeful elect lady out there. You know what I mean? But for the most part, a lot of these hoes wicked, and like I said again, we about to be tested and tried. And like the elder brother said, these women about to be tested and tried too. And that's what I got up out of it. You know what I mean? Because again, just that quick, this nigga been gone. She been all up in another nigga face, nuts all on top of her head. And like, what kind of, and he just cool with that. But then he confused because he talking shit about her in her face, show you how stupid she is. All for attention. You know what I mean? All because, like I said, they want to be seen by the world. The scriptures talk about love not the world of the things that are in the world. So you seeing how weak Jake is now. You know what I mean? Again, that's kind of ingenious too. These celebrities are losing they allure and their youth. Esau ain't really fucking with them like that. And what they've done is turned to these streamers, and now they giving them money. You know what I mean? Because they, that's the youth culture. I don't let my kids watch no fucking streaming shit because they not doing nothing. And then a lot of them is fake. You know what I mean? They make it seem like they one way, but like that one guy, Mickey Mace. If you hip to him, he actually an Amalekite, but he supposed to develop a system where he was beating the casinos. Like he made millions of dollars from just gambling. And he was talking about one of those streamers. He was like, the weird thing about these streamers is it's character. Like Charleston White, he's a character. You know what I'm saying? Like Charleston White is a nigga. I've seen him. I mean, brothers recognize niggas. You know what I mean? Like I said, when he go to these little shows and shit and these little podcasts, those 20 verses 1 and shit like that, he goes around with it. Like, remember that one that they put him on and it was a fag? And he was like, oh yeah, you gonna give me the money? Like, he doing that shit for money. I said, that nigga don't give a fuck about his people for real. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, you know what I'm saying, it's a character. I mean, he brags about it all the time. He doing comedy, you know what I mean? Now, he always said this. He said, you can't knock me if I figured out the system. You know what I mean? And what how he did it is he will go fuck with people that's relevant, chasing clout. He can fuck with people that's relevant to get attention brought on him. You can't knock that. You know what I mean? Like, he learned how to use the system. He got, what they say is no such thing as bad publicity. Like the elder always says, in actuality, vocab actually helps us. You know what I mean? Like, as much as you can do nothing against the truth before the truth. He's not doing exactly what he think he's doing. You know what I mean? Because all you're doing is bringing attention and recognition to the same people that you're trying to basically come up against. Which is funny. That's the Lord in his sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, beginning at verse 1. And it reads, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give unto the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord of hosts. And if this dude ain't a cruel lord, I forgot what Republican or what, see how they keep playing? They got videos saying that he's saying he ain't gonna do it, but then, they keep on saying, oh, he's gonna partially fund it. But the thing is this, I hope they don't fund it. Now, he could be playing a game, you know what I mean? Because the thing is this, that like, you know, these businessmen, they know how to manipulate and maneuver and mess with the mind, you know what I mean? You know, like I said again, I can't think of the exact word I'm trying to use, but point being, you know, he a lot of this is to, you know, get a rise out of the people. But like they said, the government's not funded, so they're saying they don't have funds in that, you know, whatever account or whatever fund they use to supply the SNAP benefits. So they said, well, pretty much we got another fund that we could take, you know, because they said pretty much the SNAPs is an $8 billion a month program, but the fund that they was going to use to fund it, that's what they was talking about, partial payments, only got half of that in there, got like $5 billion. So at first they was like, okay, we're going to try to do it and we're going to do it legally, but now he's saying we just really can't use those funds for it. Now, he you know, they might overturn it, he might say, okay, we're going to do it, but they're not giving you the exact date because they're saying everything is fucked up. So, like, I've seen videos where women up there, like, I usually get mine on the first. I was hoping that, you know, I peeked on the second, hoping they're going to put it on there, and it's really not just sinking in that she like, they ain't going to get that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that truth going to be. You know what I mean? You're going to have so many people that's literally not really caught up or paying attention to what's going on when you should be paying attention. You know what I mean? Then the doors of mercy is closing quickly. You know what I'm saying? But these people, again, love it here. People love the oppressor. People love this oppressing city. People love everything but Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So with that being said, it says that crew and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, which is DJ Trump. I forgot what senator said that she was like, pretty much these SNAP benefits, you know, the cutting of them is cruel. And I was gonna do a video on it, but you know, again, you know, spirit is as the wind, so you know what I mean. I might have did it on something else or didn't get to it yet, you know what I mean. Who's to say? But this is obviously talking about. I mean, like again, knowing that these people ain't gonna be able to eat. Come on. But then, and the cruelest part about it is this. That's how you know they purposely doing it. Is literally the people that's voting this shit, they literally still gonna get paid. You know, it's cold because ICE still getting paid, FBI still getting paid, but you know, the soldiers, they not getting paid. And that's what you get for signing up with your beloved military. You get what I'm saying? This is what you wanted. You thought, you know, back in the day, these people that, you know, work for the government, they just thought that shit was, oh yeah, I'm better than you, and I got my nice affordable house. I mean, I got my nice big house because I got a guaranteed job. That show you the times we living in, because ain't nothing certain or guaranteed except for the Lord coming to judge and destroy this place. It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 5. I'll get straight to the point. 5 and verse 16. 5 and 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, have spoken it. And you about to see a lot of bloodshed. Like I said again, they're not really showing you what's all going on. Because again, like just like how you will see a video. I saw a video where Charleston White was with that goo, Aiden Ross, and I forget who else, but he was with a bunch of streamers. And pretty much he was seeing that they getting money, you know what I mean? So he like, damn, how do I get down with y'all? And the dude, Aiden Ross, said the only way that you could be a part of it is you got to let me fuck you. He said that. And the clip went out. You know, that dude, they gave him $1 million in Bitcoin. Like, so of course a lot of this shit is set up. You know, again, you go back and look at like the guy Kai Cenat, you know what I mean? He literally up there doing little, you know what I mean, suspect type shit. You know, like again, you'd be surprised what motherfuckers gonna do. Again, I was homeless. Trust and believe, I'm gonna tell you something. And that's why I was like, nigga, I wasn't smoking behind you. I didn't drink behind nobody out there. Like, you would have weirdos around there. You know, if you know, my demon was really a demon. It's a order that Aleister Crowley was a part of. It's called the OTO. She found out it was a chapter that it's right in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So in the area where we was homeless at, it used to be a lot of Edomites, but I used to see a lot of little weird shit. You know what I mean? You'll see these Edomites come out of the cut, and you know what I mean? You looking like, and then Jake go off with him, disappear. Doing no, God knows what. Only Yahweh know for probably $20, some shit like that. Like, so just imagine when these people really fucking starving because they don't know how to go without. They ain't got not a sense or a lick of discipline. You know, my father used to have us fast, and I don't remember it like that. My brother always speaks on it, but I do that shit to my children sometimes. You don't need to fucking stuff your they in their mind thinking, oh, I gotta eat all the time and all that. And yeah, they children growing, but again, not eating is better for you than stuffing your fucking face all day. That's good for them. The Lord about to make everybody go on a fast. Everybody got to go on a fast, thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord said everybody going on a fast. You know, going back to them Great Depression meals, you know, he said, what Jake was saying, that old school Jake, he said, shit, rice and beans, rice and beans, it look good now with some cornbread, you know what I mean? You got these hoes right up there talking about truffle butter. I said, shit, the bitch had good taste on the butter, I guess. I mean, they was stealing lobster and crab, though. Like the elder said, you can't make that shit up. You done caught a case looking stupid. But again, like I say, people don't, you know, people ain't gonna have no rationale. People don't think when they, you know, and then people literally about to watch the kids suffer. A lot of people ain't about to be to watch their kids suffer. They gonna crash the fuck out. Like, unless you a man of the Lord and you trusting in the Lord. Like I said again, I never once thought about, you know, Lord just bless me now. I don't know if a brother threw up a prayer or what, but, you know, or maybe I wasn't praying enough. I don't know, but call Lord like, how about you, you know, every day above ground and to have this truth. Well, you know my thoughts on certain stuff, but at the same time, it's a reason for everything, right? It's a blessing to know this truth, to have this truth. Because again, these people is lost. These people gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. And I'm gonna start at verse 1 and it reads, woe be to thee, Babylon and Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths, a sack, and here bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent out, plagues are sent unto you, and what is that? And what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? And the answer is nobody. A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Nobody. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Lord's anger and wrath is utterly about to consume. So the Lord has visiting the earth with these plagues, and that's why you see them not slack. Shit, you talk about that hurricane Melissa. You know what I mean? They said thousands of people displaced, no longer have any homes. You know, which they're probably doing. You know how they get down, because like I said, we got unusually warm weather right now. You know, although I think we're still in hurricane season, or we just ended it. But saying all that to say this, yeah, what's they call it? They geo platforming or geo what is that movie called? But basically, you know, think about what they're doing in these areas that got hit by them storms, and now they becoming smart cities, or they're developing into smart cities, or they about to do all this massive construction in order to, they're going to bring it back bigger and better. When, like I said again, if you can actually spiritually see, well, everything that look good ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Everything that glitter ain't gold. You know, like those people that's basically going to agree to, you know, get that technology in the brain, you know, out of desperation. You know, just imagine that when they realize, oh shit, you know what I mean? Nah, true Edomite, he ain't gonna give a fuck. He just grateful though, yeah. But the funniest part is to show you how these people sell their soul for nothing. The technology doesn't even, like, I followed some of those first individuals that got the, you know, the link, and all they was able to do was like pretty much play video games or use their computer. Like that shit ain't, because again, it's vain hope. You know what I mean? This man. Well, ultimately, it's the will of the Lord, though. So I've been rambling enough, you know what I mean? But the point being is, yeah, the Lord is moving, and he bringing forth judgment. So, you know, get right with your power. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to the statutes, and to the commandments of your power, whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praise, I want to give all honor, I want to give all glory to, call Lord like Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem. So honor to the elders, to the apostles that I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim, of the forerunners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, up to listening and learning, Lord willingly, it's edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad, in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, and subscribing to this truth. For you, I say shalom. Till next time, Lord willingly, shalom, shalom. I'm Yasharallah and my wife, boy.